Earlier this week, Kwesi Adofo-Mensah and the front office of the Minnesota Vikings got the job done. The Justin Jefferson contract extension has been signed, and he is now the highest paid non-quarterback in the league for the next 4 years with the Minnesota Vikings at least, and that is joy to all of our ears because what could have been the most important and intriguing storyline for the Minnesota Vikings to continue on this offseason is over. Just like that, it's gone. It's done. We don't have to worry about it anymore. We don't have to pay attention to the reports, the rumors, the speculation that has been going on anymore. You can officially tune out. Turn your brain off. The NFL offseason for you is over unless you're going to pay attention to, mini camp and whatnot and check the progress on just J.J. McCarthy's development over the course of the summer. By all means, go for that. But the most important thing is that he's on the team. He's got Justin Jefferson. The defense has been revamped. Everything looks good. And I've got to say, this is a great video to make. I am excited that when good things happen to this team, because it feels like good things and good videos are few and far between. Now, I know I haven't been making a lot of videos the last couple of years in comparison to what I was doing when I was covering this team in 2020 and 2021. But I feel like if I would have been doing the full slate, I would have not had a lot of great things to say. I mean, I came in for a little bit during the 13-3 season, 13-4, excuse me. And that always kind of felt like a mirage, but, I'm not really here to relitigate the past. But the point is that had I been doing the full slate, I feel like we wouldn't have had as many positive impact stories to talk about like we're experiencing this offseason with a complete and total reset of the franchise, where Kwesi Adofo-Mensah and Kevin O'Connell seem to finally be putting their stamp on the program and are fulfilling the plan that they set out when they were first hired 3 years ago. I believe this is the third off season under this new regime, and I got to be honest with you, where we've come from to where we've gone, I totally screwed that up, but it doesn't matter because today is a good day and nothing can ruin the mood or the vibe. It's been impressive, and they've really handled their plan and carrying it out to a T, if I could put it that way. One thing that I would like to note in the joy that brings me with this being done with the Justin Jefferson extension is that we don't have to hear the speculation anymore. The trade rumors that were just completely unsubstantiated and had no real leg to stand on, if you know what I mean. We just don't have to talk about it anymore. Like, these made-up trade rumors that just came up out of mid-air just to spark, conversation that really just, it made no sense because we all knew that the day was going to come where he was going to say Justin Jefferson was going to stay with this team. I was so confident in it that a month ago, I uploaded a video saying, hey, there's nothing to worry about. This is going to get done. I had no cause for concern, and it turns out I was right. It feels good to be right about those things sometimes, I don't always nail them, but this one I thought was pretty obvious. The most recent trade rumor that we saw, and there's a reason that I don't touch base on these and just like go straight up to uploading videos because I just don't feel it's that important to harp on every single trade rumor that comes to light. Because I got to be honest with you, I feel like 99% of them are bullshit. But there was the PFT rumor, which, by the way, that whole thing is another video in and of itself. The PFT rumor where they had caught wind, which red flag, that there was buzz, red flag, that the Vikings were trying to trade up on draft day to get Malik Neighbors, and if they would have been successful in doing so, then they would have traded Justin Jefferson to someone else, which, come on, I feel like we could make up better trade scenarios in Madden if we were just simulating season after season. It's just so unfounded. Just click, click, click. How do I get clicks? Click, click, click. You know what I mean? Also, what can finally, my favorite one, the conspiracy or what have you that can finally die is that Justin Jefferson was never going to stay here unless it meant Kirk Cousins was going to be his quarterback. That was just the dumbest talking point in the history of pro sports talking points that I have ever seen. Congratulations on being completely wrong about that, because for at least, I would argue, the first half of the season, if not more, this year, Justin Jefferson's quarterback is going to be Sam Darnold, a journeyman who has pretty much failed at every stop that he's been at, save San Francisco because he didn't really get an opportunity there and he was never going to. It looks like that didn't matter, okay? Kirk Cousins was jettisoned from this team when they decided not to re-sign him to another long-term, fully guaranteed contract. They were like, Atlanta, you go ahead. You can do that. We've been there. We've done that. It didn't work. by all means, have at it. Which apparently they're going to get some sort of punishment from tampering in the near future, so be on the lookout for that. But yeah, I'm glad to see that that talking point is dead. It was stupid to begin with, because, you know, it honestly didn't matter who's throwing the football to Justin Jefferson. Justin Jefferson makes the quarterback better. It's not the other way around, because he still came back last year from injury without Kirk Cousins, and he had Josh Dobbs, Nick Mullins, Jaron Hall for like 5 seconds, I think. No, Jaron Hall came back, or Jaron Hall played before Justin Jefferson came back, so he didn't have that luxury. It was basically Dobbs, Mullins, and I'm forgetting one. I know I am, and I don't know why. But either way, I digress. The point is, it doesn't matter. Justin Jefferson is still going to get his, because it doesn't matter what quarterback's back there. They're going to throw it to Justin Jefferson. And in this offense, under the guidance of Kevin O'Connell, I'm pretty confident that Sam Darnold or whoever, J.J. McCarthy at some point, is going to get him the ball. And he's going to be fine. And we're going to do good. And it's going to be great. So that is basically, you know, the whole saga in a nutshell, if you will. We spent a lot of time just having to block out all of the outside world with the constant drum of speculation, trade rumors, scenarios that could play out that honestly probably never even came to fruition. The one thing I will say is that there have been reports that teams did call the Vikings to check in on the availability of Justin Jefferson by a trade. And I fully believe that 100%. And I have no problem with it, because every team in the league looking at a really good player whose contract is coming up for expiration is going to do their due diligence and reach out, make a phone call and say, hey, what's the price that we could be looking at? What's the realistic, you know, gauge that you're willing to part ways with this person? And you make that phone call for 2 reasons. 1, because you would be piss poor at your job if you didn't. And 2, if they tell you to fuck off and hang up, you've lost nothing, right? The worst thing that they can do is tell you, no, bye, click. And that's the end of it. So I believe the reports were the Jets, the 49ers, and then there was a third team that I don't remember, which I wouldn't be surprised if there was some point where almost all 32 teams in the league, 31 teams, excuse me, thought about or made the phone call, because you just should. What's the harm in checking? And I'm sure the Vikings do it all the time. I'm sure Kwesi picks up the phone and he's like, hey, I know this guy is not really on the trade block realistically, but what would it take? And the worst that you can be told is no. So that's basically everything in a nutshell. I don't care about the structure of the contract. I don't care about the years. I don't care about the money. All that I care about is that he's going to be here. You know, they'll figure out the rest as they go along. You can't call it a bad contract, no matter how much you dice and dissect the structure of it, because it's Justin Jefferson. He's the best wide receiver in the league. You pay him whatever he wants and you figure it out later. So I'm not going to be upset when the cap hit gets bigger and bigger and bigger as the years go on. I'm not going to be upset about the amount of guaranteed money. I'm not going to be upset about the signing bonus. I'm not going to be upset about the length. I'm not going to be upset if there's a no trade clause in there. I don't care. All I care about is that he's here. He's going to stay in purple, and he's going to shatter records with the Minnesota Vikings for years to come. So that's my take on the subject matter of the Justin Jefferson extension finally getting done this week, and I had no cause for concern whatsoever, but here we are. Let me know what you think in the comments below. That's going to do it for me. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.